Where are you from?
Oakville, Ontario.
And how did you end up over here?
Wow.
You don't have to answer anything. Don't, like, it's not a requirement. I'm just prompting.
Just kind of is where I landed, really, because an ex-girlfriend wanted to move here, so we came here. And yeah, we long journey from town to town, and it ended up here in Nanaimo.
What do you think of Nanaimo?
It's all right. I like Campbell River, but Nanaimo is a pretty cool place.
But Campbell River's better.
Campbell River is just, the water is amazing, so yeah,
Awesome.
I like being on the ocean.
What do you like about being on the ocean?
I just like the quietness, and people help people and don't steal from each other so much.
Perfect.
So,
And are you housed or unhoused right now?
unhoused.
And what is one thing about your community being unhoused that you appreciate?
That I appreciate?
Yeah.
I like just being not stuck in a home someplace where, at any time they can evict you, and next thing you know, you lose everything you own again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tired of losing everything I own, so what I own is on my back, and I don't have to lose it.
Perfect. How long have you been unhoused for?
Probably about 5 years now.
Perfect. Are you a substance user of any sort?
I like all substances.
Perfect.
Except
Everything.
for cocaine and stuff like that. I'm off of that, so.
Okay.
And I've decided to be off the speed and stuff like that. It's making me a little bit paranoid.
That's a good choice. Why do you think people use substances?
Well, there's many different reasons, from mental health problems to just straight out boredom, I guess. And I don't know, some people use it just so they have other people to talk to, honestly. I see lots of people down here that use substances just so they can have a conversation with somebody, really honestly, just to have somebody listen to them or be around them or feel like they're part of something. I guess as bad as it is being a substance user, but yeah, so I see lots of people come down. Lots of people don't even use the substance, and they'll go and buy the substance just so they can basically use it to get people to hang out with them, really.
Create a connection.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that aren't from our country, I don't know if they're Pakistani or what they are, but they don't use it, but they'll pay for people's substances, and I think it's more just so they have somebody to fit in with, I guess, or they actually can sit down and be part of something if they're feeding somebody a substance, right?
Absolutely. So to me, that also says people use substances to connect with one another. Do you think that connection is a huge part of life? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying
Well,
with that.
us being
Yeah.
humans, right, we always crave attention from, we don't like to be alone,
Yeah.
right? Nobody likes to be alone, and people who do like to be alone probably have a big mental health problem where they're probably not alone in their own heads, really. They can,
Yeah.
hang out with themselves and have a full conversation.
Fucking right. On the topic of mental health, how do you think Canada or Nanaimo, where we are in general, is handling mental health? Is there mental health help available? Have you been...
Nowadays, they're starting to actually recognize mental health. But before, mental health to them was basically drug addicts.
Yeah.
We talk to ourselves, it must be because of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
We're all burnt out on acid or whatnot, and I have no idea really, but yeah.
There's a lot of stigma attached to it.
There is, right? So mental health, like somebody sitting in a corner talking to themselves, can't be like, oh, he was born with a mental health problem. He must be high.
Yeah, there's
You know
something
what I
he's
mean?
actively doing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's almost like that hierarchy of who can hide it best.
Yeah.
That's true,
Yeah.
right?
Do you want to speak on anything to do with the current drug poisoning crisis?
Well, it is what it is, right? They keep banning a substance so they come up with a new substance. The problem is that the old substances weren't so bad for you, and the new substances are just chemical bathtub dope that nobody really knows what it is, like the benzodiazepine dopes and shit like that make you wake up and all of a sudden you realize, why, you went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't realize you're asleep until right before you hit the ground.
If you wake up.
If you
wake up,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So what is something you think we could do to help lessen or end the overdose crisis?
Well, bring back our old drugs that we weren't overdosing on all the time, right? Get rid of carfentanil and bring back original heroin, I guess. There were people that use that, but like I was a speed guy. but speed doesn't get me high anymore. I don't go and tweak out on things, and it's changed, right? I see it eats people now, right?
Have you seen a difference since COVID started from people who use drugs, like the access to substances, the quality of the substances, and
Well, speed now took a huge jump up in price, so now everybody's going to move on to heroin. So now, and not even heroin, right? Fentanyl or carbonyl. But I know people that have been tested, and they're not testing positive for fentanyl, heroin, or carfentanil or anything. So what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, what is in there that...
You know? And it's getting them really high, but doesn't show up on any test. So what are we doing?
It's
right?
not out of the big five anymore, so
exactly,
it's some
right?
hidden substance.
Chinese bathtub, who knows?
Yeah.
But I know all the chemicals to make most of our dope are all available in Canada. So how did they take such a jump? You know, there's some kind of higher level something going on where they're trying to get us all hooked on to fentanyl, kind of like population control or something. I have no idea, but it's retarded because now everybody that's doing speed, I'm seeing people that cutting down from the speed. They're not smoking crack, they're not smoking speed. Now they're doing fentanyl because it's the most available and easiest to find and cheapest drug to do now.
Isn't that funny? Heroin is the cheapest, or heroin, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which I don't even know the last time I seen heroin. Or like opium or something like that. Yeah, exactly. It's been years. It's been gone for a long time. Which I never used it before. But I've quit methadone like 12 times, cold turkey, and it's just about fucking killed me last time. My highest dose was 225 mils. I came off of cold turkey.
Shit. Do you want to speak on the methadone program and how you feel it handles people who are using the program to try and... Do you think it enables...
The liquid handcuff program?
The liquid handcuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a truck driver, and I couldn't be a truck driver and take methadone. There's no way. So
the program actually facilitated you losing your job because you had to be tied to it.
Made me just stuck.
Yeah.
Right, and then if I want to change something, I got a 3-4 week period where I have to go through the worst feelings of my life and shit and vibrating on the ground, and it's just horrible, right? And I can't go from town to town. Now all of a sudden I'm stuck in one town, which I'm a transient kind of a person. I don't like being stuck. As soon as you stick me someplace, I don't want to be there. Right? If I want to be there, it's cool, and then as soon as I have to be there, I don't want to be there. That's why I like living on a boat.
Do you think that the program offered you enough to help get off of it, to get off of substances, or did you any kind of supports, anything like that?
Not really. It just made me stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck, and then trying to be clean, and then not. You're just trying to fake these pee tests all the time. And I don't know. It was horrible.
It was a cycle.
Yeah, exactly, right? So.
They just like set you up for failure, kind of.
That's exactly what it is, right? It's like being on probation.
Yeah.
Right? It's just another way of going back to jail.
Yeah. And have you been in jail?
I've been in jail a couple times, yeah. I've been in jail, Ontario, and a few other places. I've been out here in the KRCC in Kamloops, which was actually not bad. Kind of like having an apartment.
Now, how about that, getting out of incarceration? Was there anything offered to you to kind of help you adapt back into life, to help deal with...
No way, man. There was a bus ticket and a boot. Which town do you want to go to? Yeah, okay, well, here's a bus ticket. Now go.
Wow.
So then you get off the bus, and that's it. You're there. Now what? So who's the easiest people to get a hold of and start hanging out with? Is the drug people. Street people. Good people gather in fields. That's the way it is, right?
So I take it you feel incarceration doesn't work?
Well, it depends on what you're being incarcerated for, right? Like, you get incarcerated for drugs or something like that, like, it depends on what you're doing to get those drugs, I guess, but people that are, rapists or thieves, rapists and people that do stuff like that deserve to be incarcerated. Yeah. Deserve to be castrated, really, but people that are, I don't know, say searching dumpsters and selling their stuff that they find in dumpsters and shit like that, you shouldn't be incarcerated for that. You shouldn't really get in trouble for that.
Minding their own business, trying to get through the day.
Yeah. Right, like I eat better now that I'm homeless than I ever have because I eat out of dumpsters.
Wow.
So I eat steak and like Angus beef stuff, and it's so good. Cheeses I didn't even know existed.
Oh man, we have a huge waste problem with throwing
and yogurt.
away good food.
Oh my god, I eat so much yogurt, it's not even a joke.
It's obscene.
Your gut bacteria must be so good.
Is there anything you want to speak on? Any last words that you want to leave us with?
I don't know. I just hope everybody can get along and stop thieving. Stealing from homeless is a joke. People gotta stop stealing from each other. People need to be back to being a man of their word. Accountable for what you do, and yeah, because everybody's stealing from everybody, and it's like I try not to steal from anybody, and I live on a promise I made my deceased grandmother that I would try a different life. And I've completed 5 years of a 10-year promise, and it's hard.
What do you think it would take to build the community in a way to stop people stealing from each other? What do you think could be brought in to create that sense of family to protect each other instead of take from each other?
I'm not for sure what that would take. It's just back to future generations have to learn, right? Like lots of kids get taken. Like my kids were taken, and I worked full time, and had 6 dogs and 2 girlfriends, and everything was great. My life was great, and I got called a father that couldn't take care of his kids and shit like that. But yet I had moved my wife that was from the United States, and she had never worked a day in her life, and I took care of her, and I took care of my kids, and we had cars and everything else. And as soon as they took my kids, it just fell apart. There was no go back and jump through their fucking hoops and stuff like that, because I can't. I got 98 pins in my left foot. I have to do drugs.
Yeah.
Right? I have to have some kind of pain control in my foot. So without my drugs and stuff like that, then I can't even walk. So that's why you'll always see me with my bike. No matter where I go, I always have a bike, because it's my wheelchair.
Perfect.
So.